Hey everyone, welcome back to Bee's Kitchen. Hoping you're all doing well. Today I am going to show you how to make these delicious cinnamon rolls. Very simple recipe. Stay with me and let's get started. To begin with, I'm going to mix all my dry ingredients together. So I have plain flour, caster sugar, salt, and then finally yeast. Once I have added all the dry ingredients, I'm going to mix everything together well and then I will set it aside. Now for the wet ingredients, I have whole milk in my measuring jug and the whole milk is actually lukewarm. This is what's going to help activate the yeast. I just added melted butter, in goes 1 egg, and now I'm just going to mix everything together, ensuring that it is well combined. I'm using a stand mixer to mix my dough. However, if you don't have a stand mixer, you can mix your dough by hand. Next, I'm going to add all my wet ingredients, and at this point, I'm mixing the dough on low speed. Once I see that the dough is gradually forming, I'm going to turn the speed on high and allow the dough to mix together for about 2 minutes. Also guys, all the ingredients including measurements will be in the description box below. Also guys, you may notice that your dough is soft and you'll be tempted to add more flour, but don't. The softer your dough, this indicates that your cinnamon rolls are going to come out very nice and soft. So ensure you don't add any more flour at this point. So I'm just going to remove my dough from my mixing bowl, but before I do that, I'm going to grease a separate mixing bowl with a little bit of vegetable oil. And the reason why I'm greasing this bowl is because once I add the dough and is proofing, it's not going to stick to this mixing bowl. So now I'm going to remove the dough from this mixing bowl and then I will transfer it to the greased mixing bowl. I'm now going to cover the dough with cling film and I'll also place kitchen cloth on top and allow the dough to double in size. This should take about 1 to 2 hours. Now the warmest place in my house is actually my oven, so I'm going to place the dough in the oven and allow it to double in size. Also guys, please ensure that your oven is completely off. Whilst the dough is rising, I'm going to mix my filling for the cinnamon roll and I'm using soft brown sugar. I'm just breaking the brown sugar down and next I'm going to add the ground cinnamon and I'll mix everything together to ensure that the brown sugar and the cinnamon has completely combined well and it has a nice smooth consistency to it. And as you can see, the brown sugar and the cinnamon has combined really well, so I'm going to set this aside for later use. I'm also going to prep my baking tin, which I'll be using to bake the cinnamon rolls. So using unsalted butter, I'm just greasing the bottom of the baking tin, and next I will line the baking tin with some grease-proof paper. Once I finish lining my baking tin, I'm just going to set it aside for later use. So 1 to 2 hours later, I have taken the dough from my warm place and as you can see, it has doubled in size. So it is time to roll out the dough. Now before I roll out the dough, I'm going to ensure that I have floured my counter with enough flour. So once I come to roll my dough, it doesn't stick to my counter. And also, I'm ensuring that my rolling pin is covered in flour. I'm now going to go ahead and remove my dough from the mixing bowl onto my floured counter, and then next what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll out the dough flat. And as you can see, I have completely rolled out the dough. The dough is about 1 centimeters in thickness. So what I'm going to do now is add some soft butter. Now you need to ensure that the butter is at a spreadable consistency. So what I did was I removed the butter from my refrigerator the night before and just allowed it to sit until the next day when I was making the cinnamon roll. Now if your butter is at a spreadable consistency, it just makes it easier when you're spreading it on the dough. It just glides on very easily. I'm now going to go ahead and sprinkle the brown sugar and cinnamon filling evenly onto my dough. Now using my rolling pin, I'm just going to press the sugar in the dough, and the reason why I do this is because when it comes to folding and rolling the dough, the sugar stays in place and it doesn't come out of the dough. I'm now going to go ahead and roll the dough into a nice long log. You'll also notice that the sugar stays in place whilst I'm rolling. I'm now going to cut the cinnamon rolls using a string, and what I do is I place a string at the bottom of the dough and then I cut. Now the reason why I use a string to cut the cinnamon rolls is because it gives it this nice, beautiful, evenly cut. But if you don't have a string, you can go ahead and use a knife and it will work great. And as you can see, I have finished cutting all the cinnamon rolls. So what I'm going to do now is place all of them in my baking tin. But whilst I'm doing this, I'm leaving enough gaps in between the cinnamon rolls because I'm going to cover and allow this to double in size. I have laid all the cinnamon rolls in the baking tin. So what I'm going to do now is cover and allow it to double in size. This should take about 30 minutes. So 30 minutes later, I have removed the cinnamon roll from my warm place, and as you can see, it has doubled in size beautifully. Now I am going to bake the cinnamon rolls in a preheated oven at 180 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. Time to make the cream cheese frosting, which is going to go on top of the cinnamon rolls once it comes out of the oven. So in a bowl, I have added cream cheese. I'm going to add icing sugar. I will also add vanilla extract. I will add some soft unsalted butter, and then finally I will add a little bit of whole milk gradually at a time. Now when it comes to the whole milk, depending on how thick or light you want your cream cheese frosting to be, I would recommend adding the whole milk a little bit at a time and then mix it until you have your desired consistency. If you want your cream cheese frosting to be very, very light, then add more of the whole milk. If you don't want your cream cheese frosting to be light, then try not to add too much of the whole milk. So I decided to go for, I don't know, I'd say a medium consistency because it's not too thick and it's not too light. This is exactly how I like my cream cheese frosting. I have also taken the cinnamon rolls out of the oven, and guys, it smells heavenly. It smells amazing. As soon as the cinnamon rolls came out of the oven, I am glazing it with this cream cheese glaze. And that's it. I just cannot wait to enjoy these beautiful cinnamon rolls. Guys, you are going to enjoy this recipe, I promise you. As always, thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to like this video, share this video, comment below, subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so, and don't forget to click that notification bell, which will notify you whenever I post delicious recipes like this. Enjoy your delicious cinnamon rolls, and I'll see you next time. Bye.